Great to have you.
Thanks so much.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the home of Bugatti in France and, of course, to the Retromobile. It's a big honor to be here with you. And today we will celebrate a legendary, iconic car and the legend behind it, the man behind it. As you know, there's lots of things going on at Bugatti. We are starting into a new era. We had, of course, 20 years marked by the W16, by the Veyron, the Chiron, and that's what we are celebrating today. But at the same time, we are transitioning into the next era with the V16, the Tourbillon, and a completely new platform. 2025 was by far the most successful year in Bugatti's history. We have built and delivered the highest number of cars in our history, and we had the best financial results in the company's history. And that enables us to do also very exciting things, as you will see here today. As we heard, Bugatti is about raising the limits and doing things that many consider impossible. Of course, we do very exciting but also expensive cars, but they are not just for the few that can afford them. They are also for each one of us to inspire us. I remember when I saw the Veyron for the first time, I was 16 years old, and it's great to see many young people here today as well. And it marked me. I remember that moment when I saw that car. And the man behind that car, Ferdinand Piëch, he was a true visionary who changed the auto industry like basically no one else before him did. He wanted to show what is possible. The first car over 1,000 horsepower, the first car over 400 kilometers per hour, and the first hypercar in the 1 million plus category. Without him, the hypercar industry today as we know it wouldn't exist, and many technologies that have been developed along the way would not exist without him. Many said it's impossible, that it will never happen, that it cannot be done. And I think if you look at what we are doing today, we are still in that spirit of Ferdinand Piëch, but also of course Ettore Bugatti, trying to do the incomparable, because if comparable, it's no longer Bugatti. We think that no Bugatti is comparable. Each one is a masterpiece, but we have started a special program to do the pinnacle of incomparable, to do the program Solitaire, one-off cars for our very special customers. Last year we showed the first one of the program Solitaire, the Brouillard, and today we are going to show for the first time publicly the second car. That's an homage to the Veyron and to the journey of the last 20 years, but especially to a very special man, FKP, so Ferdinand Karl Piëch, who is the man behind this amazing car. Now, please enjoy a little video unveiling the FKP homage.
Time passes. True vision remains. 20 years after the Veyron defined the impossible, Bugatti honors the man who dared first. Over 1,000 horsepower and 400 kilometers per hour. Elegance without compromise. Not as a challenge, but as a promise kept. A solitaire homage to Ferdinand K. Piëch.
There you go. So I think we can all agree that with the cars that we have unveiled in the last couple of years, with the Tourbillon, the Brouillard, and the FKP homage, our design team has blown it out of the water. I truly believe that we have the strongest design team in the world, many of whom are here today. You can meet them. It's easy to spot them. It's the best dressed people always. You can see Jan over there, for example. The designers are always easy to spot. So as a representative of our design team, our director of design, Frank Heil, who is with Bugatti already from the Veyron times, will tell us more about the FKP homage.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mate. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's the FKP homage.
Bravo!
So this project represents for us as a team at Bugatti, but also as the design team, a huge challenge, and we took upon this job with dignity and a lot of respect for this icon. To recreate an icon also is a journey for me personally back into my own history as I joined the company in 2008, and back then we actually did sketch on a number of variants and also a facelift idea for the Veyron. So in many ways, the themes that you find in this car are what we call period correct, to speak in concours terminology. And so we think it's an authentic representation of a Veyron incarnated in the latest technology. And it never came to be for those facelifts to happen, but Mr. Pirch always had a saying, if something really wasn't possible at the time, we'll do it at the next opportunity. Fast forward 20 years, here's our next opportunity. So it's a goosebump moment for us. And so the number one most important thing on the Veyron is its leaned back body posture. So unlike the viewing habits that we used to have back in the early 2000s of a supercar being a wedged forward kind of body posture, the Veyron didn't take part in any of that. It had a leaning back body posture. So what I mean by that is the belt line, the bottom edge of the side glass is a dropping belt line, a falling gesture. It's almost a noble kind of body posture leaning back. And then we have the form language that consists of almost Boolean operation, kind of full volumes intersecting with one another. And that also gives the two-tone paint scheme. Speaking about the architecture on the front, we now have machined out of a solid block of aluminum, upright standing three-dimensional horseshoe that all the surfaces originate from, and also we have a very precise division in the shut lines between the two-tone paint scheme. Also the headlights, they have this kind of L-shaped DRLs that flow into the fender crease lines, which is now a very full section and carved out from the inside, a very sculptural approach. Also, we see the paint isn't just red. This is actually liquid metal paint. You can see the speck roll off, and it has red pigment in the clear coat, giving us this tonality of red. Also, the black isn't just black. It's black exposed carbon fiber with 10% pigment in the clear coat, giving us almost a second glance read, almost like wearing the mink inside. It's very understated for what it actually is. Much like the paint system, which is based on compounds that weren't available 20 years ago, also the engine is not just 1,001 horsepower. It is now 1,600 horsepower, representing the highest build stage and latest incarnation of the W16 power plant. As well, we come in the proportions to the wheels. This is now a 20-inch wheel in the front. The Veyron used to have an 18.6-inch wheel and a 21-inch wheel in the back. Veyron used to have 20-inch wheels. So we're running Chiron tires on a Veyron, which is also giving it the beautiful stance. The way that this thing is planted on the road is absolutely gorgeous. As much as one of my favorite panels on the car, there's nearly no line to it. It's all just sculpture and shape. We come around to the back, and the signature line rear fascia of a Veyron is to have these four eyes, and this is also a period correct theme, as we were sketching on light guiding kind of technology already back in the day. So now we have implemented the next opportunity for these really deep tubular kind of light guiding taillights. Also the diffuser is now much wider, and we've really planted the thing on the stance also on the rear. What we take in more air from the front needs to come out on the back also, so we've widened the air intakes, air outlets on the rear, which brings me also to all the aluminum parts. Everything that looks like metal is machined out of a solid block of aluminum, and these intakes also take in obviously much more air than the original Veyron intakes. If we come around to the interior, you go into the interior please. If we come around to the interior, Also the dashboard. Can you come into the interior, please? Also the dashboard is machined from a solid block of aluminum. We have a very fast center console here, and machined out of a solid block aluminum center console as well, much inspired by the original Tokyo Motor Show car from 1999. It's also not just a Havana leather interior. Also here we've gone to the latest with all the materials that we call the car couture, much inspired from everything that we've learned on the Tourbillon program. It's not just a leather interior, it's a leather interior plus custom woven fabrics. An absolute highlight for me is on the dashboard in the center, we have a 41 millimeter Royal Oak Tourbillon, custom designed for this car, together with Audemars Piguet. And we have the signature polish on the center console, which we call engine turn. The steering wheel is a perfectly round shape, no flat off on the bottom, very much inspired by the original Veyron as well. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much, everybody. I now hand over to the man who built all the Veyrons back in the time. Christophe.
Thank you, Frank.
The stage is yours.
Thank you. What an emotional moment for me. Imagine that 24 years ago, I was part of the team who developed and launched the Veyron. The Veyron was really a new thing, something which the VW Group didn't do before. And my first role as a young engineer was to help the team to define the quality standards of a Bugatti. Standards of reliability and research to perfection, which are guiding us till today. To return to the Veyron now, after all these years, over 1,100 cars produced. This is, when you see that, that's definitely the final version of the Veyron, the one which we wanted to bring 20 years ago. And it has been an incredible journey for me personally, and it's like coming around a full cycle. Behind the Veyron stands Professor Dr. Ferdinand Karl Piëch, a man whose vision changed everything. In 1998, he decided with the VW Group to buy the brand Bugatti. He decided also to bring it back to the origin in Molsheim. He restored the chateau and built the atelier where all these wonderful cars are now assembled. His engineering philosophy was forged through the Porsche 917 Le Mans program, a strategy of overwhelming top speed dominance. His dream of exceeding the 400 kilometers per hour, unrealized with the 917, would finally be solved with the Veyron. And on a bullet train with the representative and director of the development of engine of that time, Dr. Karl-Heinz Neumann, and the first president of Bugatti, he sketched a revolutionary W18 engine because this was the first thinking of the heart of a new Bugatti. After few prototypes and testing, the engineer managed to convince him that the W16 should be the heart of the Veyron. But he insisted on the four-wheel drive to harness the 1,001 horsepower. The Veyron became the first of its kind, a €1 million hypercar that could travel to the opera in the evening and break records by day. He created an entirely new automotive segment through uncompromising pursuit of excellence. With the program Solitaire, it allows us to tell intimate stories about Bugatti's rich heritage. Our first Solitaire, the Brouillard, was a celebration of Ettore's beloved horse. For the second Solitaire, we wanted to honor both the icon, Véron, and the visionary, Professor Dr. Ferdinand Karl Piëch. Working with our teams in Molsheim, Zagreb, and Berlin, and the visionary customers, together we have created the definitive FKP homage. So, thank you all for being part of this moment. And now, to celebrate these two masterpieces, I would like that we make a loud Vive la Marque all together. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, et vive la marque! Thank you very much.